Licensure Examination for Teachers. Subject: Assessment of Student Learning, Developmental Reading. Professional Education, for both elementary and secondary. Topic: Reading Strategies and Assessment of Reading Skills. Question number 1. A student is looking through a telephone directory to find the specific contact number of a local pharmacy. Which reading strategy is the student applying? A. Skimming. B. Scanning. C. Critical reading. D. Detailed reading. Correct answer: B. Scanning. Why B is correct? Scanning is a rapid reading technique used when the reader is looking for a specific piece of information, a name, a date, a number, while ignoring everything else. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Skimming. Used to get the gist or the general idea of a text, e.g., looking at a newspaper's headlines. C. Critical reading. Involves evaluating the truth, bias, and quality of the text. D. Detailed reading. Reading every word for full understanding. Edge knowledge. Think search engine. Scanning is like hitting Ctrl+F on a computer. You have a target, and you ignore the rest. Skimming is like watching a movie trailer. You want the big picture. Question number 2. In the Philippine Informal Reading Inventory, Phil-IRI, a student in grade 5 is categorized as having instructional level in comprehension. This means the student correctly answered what percentage of the comprehension questions? A. 90% to 100%. B. 75% to 89%. C. 59% to 74%. D. Below 58%. Correct answer: C. 59% to 74%. Why C is correct? According to Phil-IRI standards for comprehension, the instructional level ranges from 59% to 74%. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. This is the independent level for comprehension, 80% to 100% in many local manuals, but Phil-IRI specifically uses 75% as the cutoff for independent. B. While 75% is the floor for independent, 59% to 74% is the specific range for instructional in Phil-IRI. D. This is the frustration level, below 58%. Edge knowledge. The Phil-IRI magic numbers: independent, 80% to 100%. Instructional, 59% to 79%. Frustration, 58% and below. Note: Phil-IRI standards sometimes vary slightly by edition, but 59-74-75 is the standard middle ground to look for. Question number 3. During an oral reading assessment, the student reads the sentence "The cat sat on the mat as the cat sat on the rug." This type of reading error is classified as A. Omission. B. Insertion. C. Substitution. D. Reversal. Correct answer: C. Substitution. Why C is correct? Substitution occurs when the student replaces a word in the text with a different word. In this case, rug was substituted for mat. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Omission. The student skips a word entirely. B. Insertion. The student adds a word that isn't there. D. Reversal. The student swaps the order of letters or words, e.g., was for saw. Edge knowledge. Meaning over form. If the substituted word, rug, makes sense in the context of the sentence, it is a semantic substitution. This shows the student is reading for meaning, which is a good error compared to a nonsense substitution. Question number 4. A teacher asks, if the main character had chosen to tell the truth at the beginning, how would the ending of the story have changed? This question targets which level of comprehension? A. Literal. B. Inferential. C. Integrative. D. Applied, creative. Correct answer: D. Applied, creative. Why D is correct? This is an applied, creative level question because it requires the student to go beyond the text and use their imagination to create a new scenario or alternative outcome. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Literal. What was the character's name? Directly stated. B. Inferential. Why was the character sad? Reading between the lines. C. Integrative. Relating the story to other stories or personal experiences. Edge knowledge. Think what if? Questions that ask students to rewrite, predict alternatives, or apply lessons to a new context are always at the highest levels: creative, applied. Question number 5. Which step in the SQ3R, survey, question, read, recite, review, study strategy involves looking over the headings, charts, and captions of a chapter before reading the actual text? A. Survey. B. Question. C. Recite. D. Review. Correct answer. A. Survey. Why E is correct. Surveying is the pre-reading step. It's like looking at a map before a trip. You look at the landmarks, headings, bold text, pictures, to prepare your brain for what's coming. Why the wrong answers are wrong. B. Question. Turning headings into questions to answer while reading. C. Recite. Summarizing sections in your own words after reading. D. Review. Looking back at the whole chapter to check retention. Edge knowledge. Think the scouting report. Surveying is the S in SQ3R because it's the very first thing you do to build a mental framework. Question number 6. Which assessment tool consists of a passage with every nth word, usually every 5th or 7th, deleted, requiring the student to fill in the blanks using context clues? A. Running record. B. Cloze test. C. Informal reading inventory. D. Rubric. Correct answer. B. Cloze test. Why B is correct. A cloze test measures a student's ability to use semantic and syntactic cues to identify missing words, which is a strong indicator of overall reading comprehension and language proficiency. Why the wrong answers are wrong. A. Running record. A tool for recording oral reading miscues in real time. C. IRI. A comprehensive battery, like Phil IRI, involving oral reading, silent reading, and listening. D. Rubric. A scoring guide used for subjective tasks like essays. Edge knowledge. Think contextual jigsaw. The cloze test is the ultimate test of do you understand the flow of this language? Question number 7. A teacher models her thinking process by saying out loud, I'm confused by this word, metamorphosis, so I'm going to look at the picture next to it and reread the previous sentence to see if I can find a clue. This strategy is called A. Guided reading. B. Think aloud. C. Scaffolding. D. Peer tutoring. Correct answer. B. Think aloud. Why B is correct. A think aloud is a metacognitive strategy where the teacher verbalizes their internal thought process to show students how an expert reader solves problems. Why the wrong answers are wrong. A guided reading. Small group instruction where the teacher supports students as they read. C. Scaffolding. A general term for support. Think aloud is a type of scaffold. D. Peer tutoring. Students teaching each other. Edge knowledge. Making the invisible visible. Students can't see thinking. You use a think aloud to make your invisible brain work visible, audible to them. Question number 8. What is the graphic organizer called that shows a central concept with related words, definitions, and examples branching out, helping students see the connections between ideas? A. Venn diagram. B. Story map. C. Semantic map. D. Flowchart. Correct answer. C. Semantic map. Why C is correct. Semantic mapping, or word mapping, helps students visualize the relationships between a core word and related concepts, synonyms, or categories. Why the wrong answers are wrong. A. Venn diagram. Used for comparing and contrasting. B. Story map. Used to track plot, characters, and setting. D. Flowchart. Used to show sequence or a process. Edge knowledge. The word web. Semantic refers to meaning. A semantic map is literally a map of meanings. Question number 9. If a student reads a 300-word passage in 3 minutes and makes 6 errors, what is their reading rate in words per minute, WPM? A. 90 WPM. B. 100 WPM. C. 150 WPM. D. 200 WPM. Correct answer. B. 100 WPM. Why B is correct. Reading rate is calculated as WPM equals total words read over total time in minutes. WPM equals 300 over 3 equals 100. Why the wrong answers are wrong. A, C, and D. Incorrect math results. Edge knowledge. Ignore the errors. When calculating WPM, reading rate, you use the total words read. If the question asks for CWPM, correct words per minute, then you subtract the errors. 300 to 6, over 3 equals 98 CWPM. Watch the wording carefully. Question number 10. Which stage of the reading process involves making predictions, activating prior knowledge, schema, and setting a purpose for reading? A. During reading. B. Post-reading. C. Pre-reading. D. Re-reading. Correct answer. C. Pre-reading. Why C is correct. All actions mentioned, predicting based on titles, activating schema, happen before the eyes hit the first sentence of the text. Why the wrong answers are wrong. A. Involves monitoring comprehension and clarifying. B. Involves summarizing and evaluating. D. Is done to improve understanding. Edge knowledge. The launchpad. If you aren't doing these three things, predicting, schema, purpose, you aren't ready to launch into the text. If this video gave you an edge, sharpen that like button and subscribe to stay ahead.